Hello everyone, today we're going to talk to you about desensitizing your horse to your tools, and I'm going to be using the stick and string. So I'm going to go ahead and start off with the stick and string, and you always want to start in the middle of a horse's back, especially if they've never had this done to them before, because it's the least sensitive part of your horse's body. Then you're going to slowly work backwards toward their rump, then their back legs. And what you're looking for when you're doing this or when you're desensitizing to any tool is for your horse to show signs of relaxation, which could be cocking their back leg, taking a big deep breath, licking and chewing, or standing still for 15 seconds. Horses learn from the release of pressure, not from pressure itself, so when they relax, it's important to retreat and reward them. You want to give them a second to think about what they did that got them that release. That's the important part. You need to find a starting point with your horse. I'm moving pretty quickly through this to demonstrate to you, but you may have to take smaller steps, retreating more often at signs of relaxation. If they are very, very afraid of your tools, you're going to have to break it down into smaller steps, and you're going to have to not apply as much pressure. It's important that you do this to both sides of your horse. Different side means different brain, and they're likely to do better on one side than the other. So I'm going to go through the exact same steps that I went through on her left side, but on her right side. So I'm going to start in the middle of her back, and then I'm going to move down to her back legs, then her front legs. In a second, my string's are going to get caught up in her back legs. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to reposition her. So, yep, there it was. My string got caught up in her back leg, so I'm just going to gently ask her to back up, square herself up, so I can go ahead and get those front legs, making sure my string wraps all the way around her front legs. See, and she moved there, so I kept applying the pressure, and now I'm going to move on to a different one. I could have stopped and rewarded her there, but she knows this. With your horse, in between the different levels of desensitizing, slapping the ground, throwing the string over their back, you may want to go ahead and give them some release in between those, and that probably would be a pretty good idea. So I'm going to go ahead and move to her head with this stick and string. So you want to do their right and left side, but you also want to do their front, okay? Horses don't like things being in the front of them or coming up underneath them or from up above them, so it's important that you want to find those oh no places, and slamming that string down after doing the helicopter was definitely an oh no place for her. So I'm going to keep smacking the ground until she relaxes, and then I'm going to reward her. She actually had her leg cocked the whole time, but that head and neck was up and those ears were perked up, and she wasn't really relaxing, so I wanted to make her wait just a little bit longer to relax. Now I'm going to do the same thing with my rope. I'm going to get her positioned. I'm going to make sure that she moves around me to get her positioned. I don't want to move around her. There I'm going to yield her hindquarters. And then I realized that, okay, we're gonna start with the back with the lead rope. So we're gonna do the same thing that we did with the stick and the string, but we're gonna do it with the lead rope. I really like my lead rope to have a little weight to it. It gives it a little more feel. It's easier to pitch all the way over their back, and I just threw the whole lead rope over her back, pull it back, throw the whole lead rope over the back, and let the weight of the end of the lead rope carry itself over her back. Same thing with the back legs. You just kind of want to toss it and then let it go. Let the weight of the rope do most of the work. And then you're going to do the front legs. And she's pretty relaxed through all this. Now we're going to smack the ground. And you may not want to smack it that hard. You may not want to start that close to your horse either. You may have to start a little farther away and not smack it so hard. See, she's like, oh no, I don't know what you're asking me to do. Are we going to yield the hindquarters, or are we just going to, oh, you're just going to smack the rope on the ground. Oh, no, you want me to yield my hindquarters? No, okay. Now I have to potty. But she lowered her neck and she relaxed, so that's when I retreated and rubbed her. So now we're going to do the other side. I'm going to get her situated. She had her butt a little too close to the camera, so I'm going to yield those hindquarters over, send her to the other side, get her to move around me, and now we're going to do it to the other side. Okay, I'm going to start with her in the middle of her, her withers, and then move down her back. And then I'm going to, I'm just going to pitch part of the lead rope over, and then I'm going to throw the whole lead rope over. I'm going to totally let the lead rope go and let the weight of the lead rope carry itself over her back. And they need to be okay with that. If somebody's climbing on them, they absolutely need to be okay with that. And then I'm going to do it to the back legs. I love when that rope wraps all the way around their legs and they just stand there and take it. That, if you're out on the trail and it's really brushy trail that hasn't been cleared a lot, it's important that they're okay with things getting wrapped around their legs. If you were to get tangled in a vine or something, or even if they were to get tangled in a fence, they need to be okay with things being wrapped around their back legs. So there I'm going to retreat and rub her with the rope, give her a little scratch and a reward, tell her she did a good job. Now I'm going to move to the front, and I'm going to do kind of the same thing that I did with the stick and string. Sometimes they'll move their head to the left or the right, but you want their head to kind of stay centered, and you want to be careful that you don't smack them in the face with it. So she stood still, she relaxed, and we're done. So what I'm going to ask her to do, I'm going to ask her to lower her head, and just so I can just rub on her head, and so she can be relaxed. Hope that helps. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe. If you have any questions,